You reply to their messages almost immediately. You rearrange your own schedule just to make things convenient for them. You are always there, always reliable, and always ready to help. And what is your reward for this absolute, undeniable loyalty? You are completely and utterly taken for granted. This is the psychological curse of the overly available. To understand exactly why your presence has lost all its value, and how to instantly reverse this dynamic, we must look at a chilling strategic maneuver from the ancient world. In the 8th century BC, the Median Empire was collapsing into total chaos. Villages were lawless. Crime was rampant. Amidst this violence, there was a single man named Dioses. He was a local judge, known for his extreme fairness and absolute reliability. Because the land was so chaotic, people from all over the region began traveling to his village just to have him settle their disputes. He worked from dawn until dusk. He was always available. He became the most essential man in the country. And then, one day, he simply vanished. He announced that he was exhausted from solving everyone else's problems and abruptly retired. He locked his doors and refused to see a single soul. The result was immediate and catastrophic. Without him, the villages descended back into absolute anarchy. The violence multiplied. The people panicked. They marched to his home and begged him to return. Dioses refused. He told them he would only return under one specific condition. They had to make him king. They had to build him a massive, impenetrable palace surrounded by 7 concentric walls. Desperate for his guidance, the people agreed. But once Dioses became king, he instituted a terrifying new law. It was now illegal for anyone to see him in person. All messages had to be passed through heavily guarded messengers. The man who was once available to every peasant was now a phantom, hidden behind 7 walls of stone. By removing himself completely from public view, he transformed from a useful servant into a godlike figure. His absence did not make the people forget him. It made them fear him. It made them worship him. Dioses ruled unquestioned for 53 years. He understood a dark, fundamental law of human nature. Value is entirely dependent on scarcity. Most people operate under a tragic delusion about relationships. They believe that the more they give, the more they will receive. They believe that if they are always present, they will become indispensable. But human psychology does not operate on a system of fair trade. It operates on the brutal laws of supply and demand. Think about the basic economics of the human brain. We are biologically wired to ignore what is abundant. When a stimulus is constantly present, our brains adapt to it. We filter it out. It becomes background noise. This process is called habituation. When you are always available, always texting back, always saying yes, you become psychologically abundant. You become the background noise of someone else's life. They do not respect you because they do not have to work to experience you. They subconsciously register your presence as cheap. People only obsess over what they cannot easily grasp. They only place high value on things that require effort, time, and sacrifice to obtain. If your time requires no sacrifice from them, your time is perceived as worthless. This is why your kindness is met with indifference. You have removed the thrill of the chase. You have removed the tension. You have removed the fear of loss. When people know exactly where you are and exactly what you will do, they stop thinking about you. Mystery and absence are the only two forces capable of keeping human imagination alive. Let us observe this dynamic in a very common, modern scenario. You have a friend, or perhaps someone you are romantically interested in. They have a habit of going quiet for days. They leave you on read. When they finally do text you, it is usually because they need something or they are bored. Your phone lights up with their name. The most common mistake is the immediate, desperate reaction. Within 30 seconds, you drop whatever you are doing and reply. You type out a long, engaging response. You ask them a question to keep the conversation going. You think you are being polite. You think you are showing them that you care. But what did you just communicate to their subconscious mind? You just told them that your life is entirely empty. You just proved that you were simply sitting there, waiting in the dark for their validation. You have handed them absolute power over the dynamic. They now know they can ignore you for a week, snap their fingers, and you will instantly appear, wagging your tail. They feel absolutely no urgency to treat you better, because there is zero consequence for treating you poorly. Now, consider the strategic alternative. Your phone lights up with their message. You look at it. You read it from your lock screen. And then, you put the phone back in your pocket. You do not reply. Not for 3 hours. Maybe not for a full 24 hours. You let their message sit in the void. The psychological shift that occurs in their brain is immediate. They begin to wonder, are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Are they out with someone else? By withdrawing your energy, you have forced them to invest their own energy into thinking about you. You have flipped the script. When you finally do reply, your message is short, polite, but brief. You do not apologize for the delay. You do not offer an excuse. You simply respond to the question and nothing more. You have just re-established your value. You have shown them that your time is a gated community, and they no longer have the VIP pass. People do not respect those who wait for them. They respect those who make them wait. This brutal law of availability extends far beyond text messages. It is the invisible architecture of your workplace. Look closely at the dynamics of any office. Who is the most stressed, overworked, and underappreciated employee? It is the person who never says no. It is the person who answers emails at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. It is the person who volunteers for every extra project. They believe their endless availability will lead to a promotion and respect. It almost never does. Instead, management simply views them as a limitless resource, a utility. They are rewarded with more work, while the actual respect and promotions go to the individuals who set strict boundaries. The executive who rarely attends trivial meetings, who is hard to reach, and who speaks only when necessary, is perceived as highly important. Their absence implies that their time is too valuable to be wasted on the mundane. This pattern is identical in your social circles. Think of the nice guy in the friend group. He shows up to every single event. He stays until the very end to help clean up. He is always there, and because he is always there, no one gets excited when he arrives. His presence is guaranteed, therefore his presence is invisible. Now think of the friend who rarely comes out. The one who shows up late, stays for an hour, and leaves early because they have somewhere else to be. When that person walks into the room, everyone's energy shifts. People compete for their attention. Their limited availability makes every minute spent with them feel like a scarce commodity. We do not value the reliable peasant. We value the elusive king. Your constant presence is suffocating the respect people have for you. You are giving them too much of yourself, and it is making them sick of the taste. Consider the difference between oxygen and gold. Oxygen is absolutely essential for your survival. You need it every single second of every single day. Without it, you die. But how often do you actively think about oxygen? How often do you wake up and praise the air in your bedroom? Never. You ignore it completely. You walk right through it, ungrateful, because it is abundant. It is everywhere. It requires no effort to obtain. Now, consider a single bar of gold. Gold has almost zero practical value for your daily survival. You cannot eat it. It will not keep you warm. Yet, men have crossed oceans, waged wars, and murdered their brothers just to hold a piece of it in their hands. Why? Because gold is rare. Because it is hidden deep within the earth. Because it requires massive effort and sacrifice to acquire. When you are always texting back, always available, always seeking connection, you are making yourself oxygen. You think you are being essential, but you are actually making yourself invisible. The people around you are breathing you in, but they are completely ignoring you. You must stop being oxygen. You must become gold. You must bury your time and attention behind walls of scarcity. You must make people dig for you. Only then will they realize what you are actually worth. To regain your power, you must completely audit how you distribute your presence. Here is the tactical framework for weaponizing your absence. Rule 1. The 48-hour freeze. When someone disrespects your time or takes you for granted, do not argue with them. Implement a total freeze. No texts, no calls, no social media interactions. For exactly 48 hours. Let them feel the sudden, jarring absence of your energy. Silence communicates boundaries far more aggressively than words ever could. Rule 2. Cultivate a phantom lifestyle. Stop telling people every detail of your day. If someone asks what you did this weekend, do not give them a minute-by-minute itinerary. Say, I had some things to take care of, but it was productive. Leave blank spaces in their mental map of you. Human imagination will always fill those blank spaces with something far more impressive than the reality. Rule 3. Master the strategic departure. Never be the last person to leave a party. Never be the one trying to keep the conversation going when it is dying. Leave while the energy is still high. Cut the phone call short because you have a prior engagement. Always leave them wanting just a little bit more of your time. Rule 4. Stop explaining your boundaries. When you decline an invitation, do not write a paragraph of apologies and excuses. I can't make it this time. That is a complete sentence. Excuses imply that you need their forgiveness for prioritizing your own life. The powerful do not ask for forgiveness. They simply dictate their schedule. This transition will be uncomfortable for you at first. If you have spent your life as the reliable, always there person, withdrawing your energy will feel deeply unnatural. You will feel a spike of anxiety. You will worry that if you pull back, people will simply forget about you and move on. Let me be brutally honest with you. Some of them will. The people who only valued you because you were a convenient utility will disappear from your life. Let them go. They were parasitic weight dragging you down. But the people who actually value you, the ones whose respect you actually want, they will notice the change. They will notice that you are no longer a guaranteed resource. They will sense the new, heavy boundary around your time, and they will begin to adjust their behavior to meet your new standard. You are evolving from a commodity into a luxury. A commodity is bought by everyone because it is cheap and everywhere. A luxury is respected by everyone because it is rare and difficult to acquire. You are no longer playing the game of seeking attention. You are now playing the game of controlling access. Your time is the only truly finite resource you possess. When you give it away freely, you signal to the world that your life has no inherent value. Stop being so easily accessible. Stop rewarding indifference with loyalty. Withdraw your presence. Let them feel the cold reality of your absence. Those who want you will work for you. Those who don't will simply fade away. Either way, you win. Because you have finally stopped negotiating your own worth. This is the path of Nicolo.